Times that by 3, the survival sum for Los Angeles is 4,890 million. Chicago, the survival sum for 9,100,000 people is, just for food, is 910 million. You times by 3, so the survival sum for Chicago is 2,730 million. I will start again. The survival sum for New York, 21 million people, is 6,300 million. The survival sum for Los Angeles, 16,300,000 people, is $4,890 million dollars. The survival sum for Chicago, 9,100,000 people, is $2,730 million. That's a week. The survival sum for Washington, Baltimore is population of 7,600,000. The survival sum is 2,280 million. The survival sum for San Francisco, Oakland is, for 7 million people, is 2,100 million. The survival sum for Philadelphia, which is 6 million people, the survival sum is 1,800 million. That's for, as examples, for cities in the United States of America. That's your survival sum. Every week, 52 weeks a year, for the next 100 years, for the next one infinity of years, for the survival of the human race. I have done some for bottled water. If a bottled water costs, one bottle of water costs $1, for 10 billion people to have a bottle of water would cost 10 billion. $1, one bottle of water for one person, times 10 billion equals 10 billion. To give 6.5 billion people a bottle of water on planet Earth would cost $6.5 billion if that bottle of water cost $1. World population figure above estimate, so I went to 10 billion. Anything that's in can go in reserve. Some people may need a few more bottle. I think we need, 20 bottles of water a day plus. 1 times 20 billion equals 20 billion. So if we need 20 billion bottles of water, it would cost 20 billion. 1 times 50 billion equals 50 billion. That's for 50 billion bottles of water. 1 times 100 billion equals 100 billion. That's for 100 billion bottles of water. Yeah? 20 bottles of water a day at €1 or $1 for 10 billion people cost a day. The guide I used was 20 times 10 equals 200. So 20 times 10 billion equals 200 billion. That's for 20 bottles of water for 10 billion people a day. 20 bottles of water each person a day for 20 billion people would cost 200 billion a day. 3 minutes remaining. Cost for 20 bottles of water a day for 10 billion people worldwide is 200 billion. 200 billion a day. You double it, cost for 20 billion people is 400 billion a day. That is the sum, survival sum for the world. 20 times 20 billion equals 400 billion. So 20 bottles of water for 20 billion people equals 400 billion. 20 bottles of water for 50 billion people equals 1,000 billion. 20 bottles of water times 100 billion people equals 2,000 billion. So survival sum for 20 bottles of water a day for each person at a cost of €1 or $1 per bottle of water is for global world population is 200 billion, i.e. 200 billion a day. For 10 billion people, For 20 billion people, it is 400 billion a day. 400 billion a day for bottled water. These are survival sums. It's 2013. World population estimate is 6.5 billion people plus. These sums and formula is for safe zone, i.e. 10 billion people and 20 billion people plus. Excess can be put in reserve. Survival sum, food for 10 billion people a day, €50 or $50 per person a day. 50 times 10 billion equals 500 billion a day. That's the survival sum. So €50 or $50, i.e. food hamper or food rucksack for 1 day for each person, i.e. for 10 billion people, equals 500 billion a day. So for 20 billion people, it's 1,000 billion a day. 1,000 billion a day to feed the world, for the survival backup system for planet Earth, for the human race, for the future of mankind, for the future of eternity. I'm Herbert Hexon, I'm a mathematician. Survival sum, so total daily survival cost for 1 day is for 10 billion people, 500 billion a day. Euros and dollars are used as an example. 500 billion a day. That's for 10 billion people. That's for basic food and water. But we go back to our sum. Which is this. 3,000 billion is the survival sum for 10 billion people for eternity. Thank you very much. This is ZXI. I'm Herbert Hexon. Never give up. Stay positive. I've done it. I've cracked the code of the human race. The survival plan for the human race. Thank you very much. I will do everything in my power to help as many people as I can. Supporting aid agencies in getting food and water to people who need it. I will make it my life ambition, my life goal, to get certain projects off the ground. Never give up, stay positive, never give up. That is the survival sum for food and water and kit for 10 billion people plus. I've done the mathematics for it. Thank you very much. I'm Herbert Hexon. This is ZXI. Never give up, stay positive, never give up. Anti-violence and world peace. Thank you very much. Never give up, stay positive. You're very special. Do something good for people who need it. Bottled water factories, food hamper factories, yes.